Wow. Okay, I'm mostly not dying anymore. Only like half dying. You still sound like you're dying? Well, you know what? You sound like you should go yourself. Okay. What happened to your lights? You know, just your mom with me. The, one of the things that sucks about... Wait. No. Yeah. Oh. The NAND lights. If you want to sound like an insider, the metal is good, okay? But the software is not good. It's annoying. Don't worry about it. Hold on. I switched to my phone so that I could not have to use my iPad to control my lights, but for some reason you can sign in and make a profile, but none of the stuff actually carries over, so I don't know what the point is of that. Tomorrow is the big day. Our trade war with our allies begins. Oh boy. Wait, hold on. That got pushed back to March 1st, did it? What is this one? This? Yeah, that. Okay. It did not get pushed back to March 1st. They took it back. Now they said it's tomorrow again. Okay. Jesus, wait, what's going on with the markets? Hold on, fuck. How do I keep getting further and further out of frame? Am I going the wrong way? Wait. This is way too close, right? Wait, is this too close? Hold on. I can't tell if this is too close or not. Do we think this is too close? You know what? This is fine, I think. Dude, there should be like no echo now. I have a carpet and I've got soundproofing. Despite Honey trying to fucking destroy all of it. Almost 50% down on Intel. Wait, what? You seemed a bit less energetic lately. I think I got hit with it must have been like a flu, maybe, or a bad cold. I've been sick for like 6 days. I was supposed to be back streaming full time after I streamed my first stream. And then I've just been getting sicker and sicker. So I figured, okay, well, I'm probably not that sick. And then I wake up feeling worse. No, I don't think it's COVID. I don't think the current iteration of COVID is that bad. And then, or I don't think it's supposed to be. But also I took a COVID test and that was negative, so. My camera ISO is literally at 100. I feel like I should put it at like 200. I think I should. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. I think something's going around Florida. I'm in St. Pete and everyone IK, meaning I know, has been as sick as a dog for the past couple of weeks. Damn, not that long. What spurred the move to level camera angle and not above? Because at a level camera angle, you can do the Kubrick stare. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I've just read as a rule of thumb that level cameras are better than above cameras, unless you're going for a specific effect. Try to have a little bit more of a level camera angle. Are you reading a World War II book soon? I bought the Rise of the Third Reich. Maybe we'll start it tonight. Who the fuck knows? Can you bring back the lighting / filter from the first half of the return stream? That looked really good. I don't even know how to use a filter. I mean, I can figure it out. I've never filtered my camera. I like how some people think I use a filter. It's just a combination of new lighting. So lighting from here is really good because it's the sunlight. And then I've like set this space up a little bit more intentionally rather than the last space that was just kind of thrown together. Are you going to watch the content nuke? Oh, about Hassanabi? Maybe, sure. Can you explain why sunlight is good? Unless you're going for a particular effect, I think you generally want light to be as like spread out as possible. So diffused would be the word. That's why people use like soft boxes and stuff. The sun is nice because it's very, very, very far away, and so it's very evenly diffused over the surface. Your desktop capture is zoomed in. Oh shit, it is. Hold on. So that's why sunlight, I think, is generally considered good lighting, because it's not like a single point that's like blaring on you and looking reflective and gross. Have you made it out to the Everglades/Keys yet? I went to the Everglades one time with a friend, and I think we were walking through it for like 3 minutes, and then she told me to look up, and I saw like 400 fucking spiders everywhere, and then I left, and I never went back, ever. Fuck that. Richard Evans' books on the Third Reich are the best ones. Yeah, those are the 3 that I got. Okay, wait, hold on. I need to make this fit. Please also read Lies About Hitler by Richard Evans. You mean Lying About Hitler, right? I read that book. It was a very good book. It was a super interesting book. Let me, that one guy, David Irving is a Finkelstein copycat, the way that they both do research. He's also one of those guys who's like, I got 1,000 fucking footnotes, but when you follow the footnotes, all of them are bullshit. Which was basically what that whole book was about. Hello? Wait. Oh. Wait, is my shit weird or laggy? I switched out my capture card last night too, so stay mad. Hold on, I'm gonna sink into my seat and I'm gonna disappear on camera. I should just move it down right now, because this is how I normally stream. I'm gonna be down here. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, that's good enough. Oh my god. He doesn't even want to be in here. I'm gonna open the door and then he's gonna look in and then he's just gonna leave. He's like a dad who like walks through and he's like, you better keep this door open. What? There's nothing in here. You don't want anything in here. Yeah, no, there's nothing in here. What are you looking at? There's nothing back there? Okay. Oh, he needs to come in and investigate. Yeah, are you happy? Yep, same room as it was before. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for checking. Bye. Jesus. Wait, what is this quote? What? Hold on, we'll read this article 1 second.
I've answered on this subject. When you are flying on an air...
Why is this in one ear? Hello? Why is this in only one of my ears? I'm not changing it. I don't care.
I've answered on this subject. When you are flying on an airplane with your loved ones, which every one of us in this room has, do you pray that your plane lands safely and gets you to your destination, or do you pray that the pilot has a certain skin color? I think we all know the answer to that question, and as President Trump said yesterday, it's common sense. Rob Crilly.
I don't even know. I feel like conservatives pray for the latter. Yeah. Wait, Kash Patel? Why does that sound like a game show host? Am I just thinking of Raj Patel? ShoeOnHead's reaction to your reaction.
Down below, so you can watch the full videos, the full criticism if you want to. But if you do go to any of these people's channels, please be normal in the comments. We're all just people who have different opinions at the end of the day. If you have the urge to call them like a libtard soy boy cuck in the comments, write instead, "You are a fine, distinguished gentleman. Have a wonderful afternoon." See?
Okay, just as a quick thing on this, okay? I'm getting super tired of this. She only mentions you for 2 seconds? Oh, then I don't care. It can't... Everything that... I feel like I explain the same concept over and over and over again. When if you went to a laser tag arena, okay, and you played laser tag with friends, and they were like, "Okay, guys, what are the rules? All right, can we like kneel down? Can we, slide?" And they're like, "No, no rules. Anything goes." And they're like, "Really? Awesome." And then like 2 minutes into laser tag, a guy pulls out like a Beretta M9 and starts executing people. And you're like, whoa, bro, excuse me, what are you doing? And the guy's like, "Well, you said anything goes, right?" And he was like, "Well, hold on. It was anything goes like in the context of playing laser tag, bro. Not like, Jesus Christ, not like you're going to start killing people." When people say respect each other's opinions, and it's just like, these are just different political opinions, we have to get along. That's true, but only in the context of like a functioning democracy where we're all agreeing on a certain set of ground rules. You can't, I'm going to start doing so many Hitler comparisons. I'm basically going to be Vosh 2.0 on this. You can't be having people who are saying like, well, we need to deport like 15 million people. We need to get rid of birthright citizenship. We need to start suing every pollster that we don't like who said something about us that we don't like, and be like, guys, they're just different political opinions. No, some of these things are actually like super harmful. And that's great that there are those of us on the internet who are wealthy and white and are completely disaffected by any actual political shit like that. But for everybody else that's affected, it's more than just politics. Every time you hear somebody say something like, "Oh, it's just politics," what it sounds to me is that like what you're really saying is like, "Oh, this doesn't affect me, so who actually cares that much?" Yeah, somebody said that they lied and she does respond to more in your video. Oh.
Down below, so you can watch the full videos, the full criticism if you want to. But if you do go to any of these people's channels, please be normal in the comments. We're all just people who have different opinions at the end of the day. If you have the urge to call them like a libtard soy boy cuck in the comments, write instead, "You are a fine, distinguished gentleman. Have a wonderful afternoon." See? It's not that hard to control our anger.
If you tried snooze, you're a drug guy, right? I personally think that recreational drugs should be used sparingly, like recreationally. I don't think anytime you're using a recreational drug every day, I don't think it's good. So like snooze and cigarettes, I think that's not good. Caffeine though, that's great.
Write instead, "You are a fine, distinguished gentleman. Have a wonderful afternoon." See? It's not that hard to control our anger.
Is this a 17.5-minute video from a rich white person talking about how both parties are the exact same?
What a fine, distinguished gentleman. I hope he has a wonderful afternoon.
Who is our main audience? It's going to be all conservative types. Every single one of these center seat people, their audiences are always conservatives. 100%.
True and true. You're blocking a lot of the video. Am I blocking a lot of the video? There you go.
Of the time, every single time, all of them.
Centrist type people. Okay, all right. Destiny has said that Kamala Harris is to the left of him on economics. Kamala Harris. That technically puts Destiny to the right of me on econ. Destiny has opinions that fall to the left and right of where I'm standing. I have opinions that fall to the left and right of where Destiny is standing. So who is the centrist here? Or is centrism when you're a YouTuber who makes fun of both sides? And yeah, sure, sorry lefties and liberals and Democrats in my audience. You don't exist. You're all Republicans now. Take your complimentary Trump hat and liberal tears mug. Also, as a left-wing YouTuber, shouldn't having right-wingers in your audience kind of like be the goal? Who are you making content for if not? Do you just want to preach to acquire? If you want to watch someone who agrees with you 100%, just talk to a fucking mirror. I don't understand this criticism. I like that there are people with diverse opinions in my audience. It's so freeing. I'm not audience captured. I guess I want to bring back Ronald Reagan from the dead so I can kill him with my bare hands, and the right-wingers in my audience would just be like, "Haha, she's so funny. It's nice we can listen to alternative viewpoints. I can fix her." Frankly, I know for a fact a lot of left-wing channels would kill for the audience demographic I have. Are you kidding me? How do we reach young men on the right? How do we get young men to listen to us? Skill issue.
It's hard for me to know, bro. I can't.
Yeah, but like if you get them to listen to you and then you just repeat the same talking points that they've heard before. I don't know. This is the thing that I have an issue with, okay? When I give opinions on my channel and I see a lot of my audience disagrees with me on things, then I definitely then I worry. I'm like, well, what's going on here? If I've got a certain opinion on something like the Luigi stuff or healthcare or housing or whatever, like a lot of my audience disagrees that like it's probably not okay. It's not good or something. There's like something is happening. I mean, it's okay. You don't have to agree with me all the time. Yeah, you should just agree with me like 94% of the time, right? You don't have to agree all the time. But if I'm noticing like if I call myself a centrist, okay, and I see that there are like 90% of my audience are Trump voters, that. I feel like I'd be like, okay, well, what's going on here, guys? I feel like I'm getting an audience that does not seem to be mirroring my political opinions at all. You know,
I honestly can't tell a lot of these people. I wish I could just get them in a room and get them like shit faced and we just like have a conversation. Like, do you understand? Like, you know, like all your fans are conservative, right? You know, like everything you do is conservative, right? Can you tell that? Are you aware of that?
Okay, first of all, getting drunk with Destiny and having him all over my face like, you know you're conservative, right? You know your audience is conservative, right? Sounds like a fucking nightmare. I think I would throw up and cry. This is all especially funny coming from someone like him, who's also constantly called a centrist and a right-winger and a Nazi because he has opinions that fall outside of the left-wing internet bubble. Like, I have seen people say these exact criticisms of Destiny, and his audience is full of incels and right-wingers. You know, Destiny, at the end of the day, we're not so different, you and I.
People like Tim Pool I know are
Yeah, but the difference is that like some of these can be good criticisms and some of these can be bad criticisms. This is the science is a liar sometimes argument. Like, it is true that there are people who call me a Nazi, but those people are usually retarded. Usually.
lying 100%. But for somebody like this, like all the other centrist types that get swept up in the middle that end up just being like mass conservative propagandists, I'm not sure.
What? I'm sorry. Mass conservative propaganda? I'm so tired of defending myself like this, though. Frankly, I've seen what makes someone a progressive to these people, so I don't really mind when they call me conservative. I'll take it, Destiny. Conservative, centrist, whatever. Someone did die. When the bullets hit, or a comparator, as he was protecting his family. It's one thing to make fun of a failed assassination attempt, even a successful assassination attempt on a politician. We can't mock or criticize the people in power. There is an issue. But it's another thing to mock a innocent Trump supporter that died. The guy in power, he wasn't a politician. He was just a dude. I don't like.
He wasn't just a dude. He was a guy that was posting a ton of inflammatory shit on his social media. Who was at a rally for one of the most inflammatory candidates of all time. But
a dude wasn't just a dude and deserved to die because he posted inflammatory shit online. My brother in Christ, you do that. I do that. We all do that. All right, I'm done with this one. I'm done. I don't know what I expected. I honestly expected better. I did not expect this. Hopefully, the next person.
My face when just so that we all know where we're standing here, okay? If I would have gotten killed by a Mossad underagent or a secret undercover super soldier in Israel, every pro pally would have laughed at me, okay? Every pro Israeli would have laughed. Basically, everybody would have laughed at me no matter who I died to all the time, forever. Like, everybody, bro, there are so many packs that people are waiting to smoke. If I get killed by a fucking white dude, by an illegal immigrant, by a fucking neo-Nazi, by a fucking Abu terrorist, by whatever the fuck, there are so many people, okay, waiting to smoke that Rip Bozo Destiny pack. The idea that, like, Destiny, like, it wouldn't be okay to make fun of you if you, like, bro, people make fun of me for everything. What are you talking about? If I died, this is like fucking, this would be like the fucking Christmas, okay, for a lot of these people. It would be, what it might be the only day on the internet when everybody comes together in celebration. Like, this motherfucker is finally gone forever. I've been a fan since 2017. I know you're well aware of the situation you're in, but you have been one of the best voices of reason. Everybody. I know it's a horrible situation. I feel like I've had a flu for like a week, right? True, buddy. True.
Person is more sane. So let's go.
This is called America is in Shambles. I'm excited.
Okay, find me the person in chat who said that she only responded to one thing because you lied. Also, hold on. This camera is not... This is driving me crazy. I need to move it. You're here. Okay, it's looking on like here. But I sit here. So he needs to move to the right and then shoot more to the left. Am I going to lose my bookcase? Okay. To the right, over here, and then to the left. Well, but now my bookcase. Wait. There. No. Wait. Here. Did I even move it? At all? Ugh. No, yeah, that's better, I think. Maybe, hopefully. Okay. Is it? I can't tell. Maybe it might be the exact fucking same. How much longer do you need to stay in this room? What do you mean? This is my new office. Okay. What is that green thing under your books? Oh, those are ammo cases. In case anyone breaks in. I got enough for all you motherfuckers, okay? There's a lot of different communities that don't like me, so I gotta be strapped for everybody. I don't even know if I moved my camera at all. Okay, don't care. Haha, copying Tim Pool? Yeah, except I actually shoot my guns. Except for that alien I haven't yet. Did the cops act weird about it when they swatted you? Did they act weird? No, they were pretty chill. Can I call, by the way, swatting, does that count as an attempted murder? Am I allowed to say that? I know I'm not allowed to complain about anything that happens to me ever, but... Hold on. Launch layout editor. Why is this so weird? Why is the spacing so big? Did you get swatted recently? No, it was like 5 months ago. Oh no, it's this. There we go. Right? Yeah. Is it true what they're saying? Okay, I'll say this one more time, okay? This is the ultimate OP strategy, all right? I cannot say anything because I've got legal stuff that I am working through in the background. I look forward very much to that process concluding, okay? Only positive thoughts about it. But that's all I can say. Otherwise, my lawyers call me. They have me on speed dial. They're watching my stream constantly because they're too busy watching my stream and not working hard enough. But if I say anything, they call me. They're like, hey, we need you to shut the fuck up. All right, wait. I was reading this. Why am I reading this? Jesus, this is long. The inside story of Harris's lost gamble on Joe Rogan, Beyonce, and a late Texas rally. Oh, I heard that they were trying to schedule Rogan, but Rogan kept basically like kind of dodging. Actually, this isn't too long. Fuck it. I'll read it. People are saying the most you can lose is fuck. I can't talk. Listen, here's what I will promise you, okay? I don't know what will be said or won't be said after everything, but I can tell you, Jesus Christ, I feel like we've gone through so much legal stuff. You guys should know better. But after all of this wraps up, I will be able to talk about why it's hard to talk about things as things are moving. That's all I could say, though. I can't. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. Okay. There's a huge space between my monitors now. I don't know. Do you have a rough ETA for how long it's going to take? No. And even if I gave you one, then as soon as the ETA comes and passes, you'll be like, oh, can we talk about it yet? So I don't know. Right now, I'll say 6 months. Probably way less than that, though, would be my guess. The following is excerpted from the forthcoming book, Fight Inside the Wildebeest Battle for the White House. Copyright blah, 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 by Jonathan Allen and Amy Parnes, which is due to be published April 1st by William Morrow. It is reprinted courtesy of HarperCollins Publishers. Can you hear that AC in the background? Because if so, I can close my door. I don't know how much noise it makes. Vice President Kamala Harris wasn't performing well in softball interviews as her sugar high faded in September and early October. But if she wanted to expand her support, and she needed to, she would have to expose herself to tough questioning. That was particularly important with men, specifically young men. That's us, guys. Who were not buying what she was selling. The obvious answer? Joe Rogan. A late 1990s sitcom star turned bro with a brain podcaster. Rogan boasted a subscriber base that amounted to a total eclipse of the genre's universe, with nearly 15 million signed up just on Spotify. Wait, what was the sitcom that Rogan was on? What? Hold on. These noises annoy me. I'm closing this door. News radio? Everyone's saying news radio. That was a TV show? Never heard of it. Okay. His 2018 interview with Elon Musk, during which the Tesla and SpaceX founder smoked pot and sipped whiskey, garnered tens of millions of views on YouTube and crashed the next generation car company's stock. Wasn't that for like a day? The vast majority of Rogan's guests and listeners were white men, presenting Harris with a potentially golden opportunity to prove her mettle by walking into the lion's den. On October 11th, Harris deputy campaign manager Rob Flaherty, the aide in charge of digital strategy, made the first Zoom call to start negotiating with Rogan's reps. He did not know what to expect. These might be juiced up, UFC-looking supplement people, he thought. He was surprised, perhaps a tad disappointed, to find out that Rogan's associates were more like Hollywood agents. And what does he think? What kind of fucking... What does that mean? What? So I called Martha Stewart's agents, and I was wondering if they would all be like old gentle lady, housekeepers, but I was surprised to find that they were actually real agents that worked in the industry. Like, whatever. Okay. In that vein, they outlined the podcaster's conditions for an interview: no staff in the studio, no topic restrictions, and Harris would have to sign a waiver. What kind of waiver? Some waivers are pretty common. Usually when you go on shows, you'll sign a release allowing them to use the footage for their channel and everything else, obviously, or for promotional material, which makes sense. There was one more item in the small print. Harris would have to come to Austin, Texas. Rogan's reps said that might be negotiable, but he had only once done an interview with an out-of-studio guest. That was leaker Edward Snowden, who was wanted in the United States at the time. So ordinarily, I would say, wow, Cozy Bedar, thanks for the 309 viewer host on Kick. Normally, I would say it's crazy that you would demand the vice president of the United States to fly to you in order to do an interview. However, Rogan is like so fucking big that maybe he could get away with it because he's like so huge. I don't know, maybe, but he's like, he's a big guy. There was one more item in the small print. Okay, yeah. Along with fellow Harris campaign advisors Stephanie Cutter and Brian Fallon, Flaherty offered up that Harris would be happy to talk about social media censorship, weed, and other issues they thought would be of most interest to his listeners. From their perspective, it was a suggestion of possible topics, not an exhaustive or exclusive list. That's not what Rogan wanted to talk about. Joe wants to talk about the economy, the border, and abortion, one of his reps said, according to a person familiar with the negotiations. Oh, God. Talking about the economy and the border with Joe Rogan? I would have loved to have seen that. After 2 Zoom sessions, Flaherty called the Rogan intermediaries with an offer. Could Rogan join Harris in Michigan? He asked, proposing a date later in the week. No go, the Rogan team said after reaching the host on a week-long hunting trip. Austin or nothing. On a week-long hunting trip. That's going to be tough, Flaherty said. We're only a few weeks out from the election. Harris had less than 0 reason to be in Texas. It was not a swing state. Her campaign was flush with cash, so it made no sense to take her off the trail to raise money. She was in a battleground or bust mode, plus a detour to Texas might smell like desperation to the press and a waste of money to donors. Harris campaign chief Jennifer O'Malley Dillon broke the impasse. Harris would be in Atlanta on October 24th with Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen. O'Malley Dillon said the campaign could fly her to Houston for a rally under the cover of visiting a state with one of the nation's most restrictive abortion laws to put her in proximity to Austin. She dispatched an advanced team to the Texas state capitol to do a walkthrough of Rogan's studio and get ready for a Harris arrival. She authorized a negotiating team to give Rogan what he demanded, an in-studio interview in Austin on October 25th. For all of former President Donald Trump's work to reach apolitical voters through podcasts, YouTube, and other outlets, Harris positioned herself to score a coup by grabbing the biggest megaphone of them all. If she did, she would be exploiting a rift between Rogan and Trump. Somebody said that's debatable. She'll reach more swing voters through Rogan. So I'm going to give you, so there's that argument, and then I'll give you a counter argument, and then I thought of like a counter argument, and I actually don't know what the answer is. So somebody would say, well, if you go talk to Rogan, he's got voters in all states, so it makes sense to talk to him there, right? So that's the argument. The counter argument might be Rogan's listeners tend to skew younger, even though he does have older listeners as well, but they tend to skew younger and they're less likely to vote. So even though it looks like Rogan has a huge thumbprint online, he might not necessarily be reaching those swing state voters in the same way that going to that swing state and doing rallies or whatever might. However, one thing that I've thought about more as like a counter argument to that is that you might be able to, when I consider like media impact, what I think of is like when you do a show, who watches that show and how far does it go? But one thing that I've been thinking about a lot more over the past couple of months is the, like, would you call it the ricochet effect or the resonance effect? I don't know. Like one person does a thing and then other people start to resonate with it. That if you go on Rogan and you do that show, maybe there are not a ton of people that watch that are in your prime voting demographic. However, there might be a lot of people that cover clips on the Joe Rogan show that are squarely in that demographic. So say you go to Rogan's show and the audience tends younger and you do decently there. And maybe you're like, okay, fuck, what if I would have talked to somebody who had been more relevant to this demographic? People in those demographics, those media people might cover that show. And then that might be important, yeah. I don't even know if Rogan's audience skews younger that much. It'd be interesting to see. Rogan's audience definitely skews younger compared to mainstream media sources. When I say younger, though, I'm talking about the overall media landscape. I don't mean younger as in they're like 25 and younger. I mean younger in that like the majority of them, my guess is are like under the age of 40. And like 40 plus, especially 50 plus are your big voting demographics. So I don't mean that like all of his listeners are like 21, 22. And also I'm sure that there's like a sizable chunk of his viewers that are over the age of 40. Like if I had to bullshit a number like out of nowhere, am I going to be completely, totally wrong? Nowadays, as big as Rogan is, my guess would be that easily less than half of his viewers, I would guess less than half his viewers are over the age of 40 would be my guess. But not that much not that much lower would be my guess. Who's listening to the Joe Rogan Experience? Hold on. Jesus. My voice will be back to normal someday. Oh, geez. Okay. So, okay. So it's actually more heavily younger than I would have expected. So 56% of his viewership is 34 and lower. 44% is 35 and higher. So 40 plus, probably below 40%. Maybe that's about where I expected to be. 37% HD. Just 7% are over 55. Damn. Okay. Yeah. And I'm not saying, let me just be clear. I'm not saying that this is a waste of time completely. I'm just saying that those older audiences vote so much more, I think. Well, can we find out how often do demographics vote by age? This is a British men, N equals 369. Oh shit, I didn't even see that. Whoops. Well, that might have skewed heavily off in one direction then. Number of voters? Is this just registered voters or? Jesus Christ. Okay, I don't think this tells you who's actually voting, but whatever. Okay. Were you ever close to appearing on the Joe Rogan Experience? I've always had a bunch of mutuals, but I don't know how close I was ever to getting on there. When were you dying? I've just had a pretty bad flu the past few days. Yesterday, I actually woke up. Oof. I was like, it was one of those things where I haven't had a headache like this in a long time, where you gotta like rub your eyes and it's like, it hurts behind your eyes. Not good. Let's see. Harris positioned herself to score a coup by grabbing the biggest megaphone of them all. If she did, she would be exploiting a rift between Rogan and Trump. My understanding from what little I knew behind the scenes was this rift between Rogan and Trump was actually real, that Rogan, at least up through 2022, Rogan did not want to interview Trump, which I was surprised when I learned about. I was like, wait, really? He really did not want to learn, or he didn't want to interview Trump. But Rogan had called Trump a man baby and a threat to democracy in 2022, vowing not to interview the former president. At the time, the beef was just one more sign of the social stigma attached to Trump after the January 6th assault on the Capitol, said one longtime Trump advisor. But when Rogan appeared to endorse independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in August, Trump fired back on the Truth social media platform. It will be interesting to see how loudly Joe Rogan gets booed the next time he enters the UFC ring. Question mark. MAGA 2024, Trump wrote. Nice, bullying. I'm going to be honest. Yesterday when I was, the past few days I've been like, because I had to take everything out of this room to roll my carpet out and then do all the soundproofing or whatever. I listened through a lot of RFK Jr.'s confirmation hearing. It feels really bad to say this, but I feel like he did decently well. I didn't hear any. There might have been like one or two maybe yikes moments, but for the most part, I feel like he actually did pretty fine. I don't know if anybody else listened to this or disagreed or whatever, but yeah. He was full of shit when he tried to attack Bernie. What did he try to attack Bernie on? I'm trying to remember. I watched him on the Bernie one. Is this just because you had low expectations? 2230 on this. Maybe? The only one who came off poorly was Tulsi? Oh, I haven't watched hers at all. Oh, on taking pharma donations? Oh, I don't even remember that, maybe. Oh, no, yeah. Oh, because RFK said you guys all take donos from pharma. One thing, careful for what I'm saying here. I'm not 100% sure on this, but I'm fairly sure on this. One thing you have to be really careful of is when people say pharma donated this much money to a candidate, when you look at the overall donations from a company to a person, depending on the data you're looking at, that could just be all the people that donated that worked at that place. It doesn't mean that the company that itself is actually donating. I've seen people make that mistake a few times where people will say like, oh, look, like Twitter donated $20 million to Kamala Harris. But then when you click through to the links, you go to either Open Secrets or wherever, and you look at the donations, it's actually, these are just personal individual donations to people that work at the company. That's different than the company itself donating the money. But 2230. What is this?
Yeah, but sort of to push back, you had those conversations with Alex Jones. Wouldn't you be able to have the same kind of conversation with Donald Trump?
That's the problem.
No, it's not the problem. You revealed that Alex Jones is a human being. Yeah. He's fucked up. He has demons in his head. He's obviously chaotic all over the place, but there's some wisdom to the perspective he takes on the world. Even though he is often full of shit, he is able to predict certain things that very few people are willing to bring up. So isn't Trump the same way? Fucked up person, egomaniac, whatever personality things you can talk about. Isn't it worthwhile to lay it out? Like, who's going to, if you listen to interviews of Trump, who has the balls to call him out on his bullshit?
Chris Walls did.
No, calling out somebody on their bullshit is easy when you're just being adversarial. But as a person who is genuinely, empathetically trying to understand,
yeah,
I think you're really good at that. Like, you pulled him in.
I don't know if he would genuinely be there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think he would be putting on a performance, and that's.
You don't think you can break through that in like 30 minutes?
I mentioned this, like, don't go where the puck is, go where the puck will be. Man, I noticed this. This hurts so much. There's a lot of people who, when Trump lost in 2020, and they thought that Trump was going to be gone forever, they came out and they were honest about their feelings about Trump. And then when they saw that Trump was winning again, they completely 180'd on it. Oof, that hurts. We saw this with a lot of the Ben Shapiro stuff. You see it here a little bit with Joe Rogan, because I think even here, I don't know if people were 100% sure, because this is middle of 2022. A lot of people are like, yeah, Trump is a crazy guy, a loser, strong man, whatever. And then as soon as it started to change, the wind currents started to blow a bit differently. Their chimes started singing a different tune. Pretty cringe.
Minutes.
I'd need more time than that. And he doesn't do any drugs. That's the thing about Alex. You can get Alex high, get him drunk, and he'll start talking about interdimensional child molesters.
Yeah.
You know, and then you get the real Alex.
Or maybe you have somebody else on as well to introduce chaos, like Alex.
No.
They have to be
I would have to be just me and him. That would be a focused thing. I would have to like really take time with Trump. But also, I'm not well versed enough politically to know all of the corruption that's been alleged and to understand what the whole Russiagate stuff, what's real, like how much of it's clear that there is more than one organization that's involved in communicating with Russia before the 2016 elections. It's pretty clear that the Clinton administration was involved. It's pretty clear that
see, like this sounds like a surprising amount of self-awareness, right? Like, I don't have the political background to know what's true or not true about this stuff. Like, obviously, there are multiple communications happening between multiple organizations in Russia. Like, I'm just not sure, you know?
The Trump administration had some communication with some people in Russia.
See, like, oh my God, he even knows this much here. But now he just calls it Russiagate, the pure hoax. That is true, what he just said. Roger Stone was in direct communication with people working in Moscow. Yes.
Pretty clear that Hunter Biden had some very suspicious dealings in Ukraine. And
the Hunter Biden suspicious stuff, now that was being reported on at the time. Now we know, though, that the informant that made those allegations made them all up, completely fabricated them. But
there's a lot going on there, man. And it's hard for anybody to parse. It's really hard for anybody, and especially to have an objective assessment of exactly what's going on. And then to be able to do that and broadcast it publicly. That's quite a project. And I think if you really want to do that correctly, it's something that I would have to research for a long time. And to really, and I don't have that kind of time.
Not for certain people that you're really curious about. Like you have that kind of time for Bob Lazar.
Yes.
But maybe not for Donald Trump.
No, that's different. Because Bob Lazar,
yeah, I don't know, man. At the same time, Rogan was hardly Mr. Popular inside Harris's camp. Her brother-in-law, Tony West, longtime advisor. Well, hold on, just as a quick thing, though. This stuff, though, Rogan was completely on the Trump dick wagon by the time Harris was even nominated or swapped out with Biden. So what reporter made up the Hunter stuff? Not a reporter. The original FBI informant had fabricated everything about Hunter, Biden, and Burisma. He just made it up. But what are you going to do? No one cares, though. At the same time, Rogan was hardly Mr. Popular inside Harris's camp. Her brother-in-law, Tony West, longtime advisor Minion Moore, and others argued against putting Harris on the podcast, especially after her first venture into politically tough terrain. An interview with Fox's Brett Baer in the middle of the Rogan negotiations bombed. There was no telling what Rogan might ask her or how he would treat her. Plus, his anti-woke crusade had made him a pariah on the hard left. They were overruled by O'Malley Dillon's crew, but not because the concerns were considered invalid. Even for those of us who were in favor of it, it was a close call, said one of the Harris advisors involved in the back and forth. The Harris High Command was not built to lob Hail Mary passes. Its leaders, starting with O'Malley Dillon, cut their teeth on campaigns that ridiculed fellow Democrats for bedwetting, whether crises were imagined or real. Seeking an interview on a popular podcast hardly qualified as a desperation to throw downfield. But it was a relatively risky move for a campaign leadership that had kept its candidate hermetically sealed in the manufacturer's box, like she would retain more value without exposure to air and sunlight. On October 10th, the day before Flaherty first spoke, it is Flaherty, right? Flaherty first spoke with Rogan's team. The Harris campaign's weekly internal analytics assessment of the race, 129-page document, had projected Harris winning exactly 270 electoral votes. She was on track to take the blue wall and Nebraska's 2nd district, but lose the rest of the swing states, at least according to her own analysts. Beneath the top-line numbers, though, the analytics showed why it was so important for Harris to reach the type of voters who listened to Rogan. In battleground states, Trump led Harris by 10.6 percentage points among men and trailed her by 9.3 percentage points among women. According to her team's figures, in both gender splits, Trump did about 2 points better against Harris. The battlegrounds, the areas of greatest concentration for the campaigns than in national polling. He led her among young men, was tied with Hispanic men, and trailed her among black men by a smaller margin than Biden beat him by in 2020. For many Democratic operatives outside the campaign, the October 22nd announcement that Harris would hold a Houston rally felt like a palm-to-face moment. She was going to lose Texas by a lot, and a visit would not force Trump to spend his limited campaign money there. Her aides scheduled the rally for a Friday night in the fall, October 25th, in Texas. It was as if no one on her team knew that the night reserved for high school football was more sacred than Easter in the state. Campaign advisor David Plouffe, Plouffe responded to the criticism publicly, explaining that Harris wanted to shine a spotlight on a place where she believed Trump's anti-abortion policies had done the most damage to women's health. Only a few people knew the real reason. The whole Houston rally was built to put her in proximity to Rogan. The ongoing negotiations on that were touch and go. So I can say for, as somebody who's traveled a bunch, the reason why traveling so far sucks is that you can lose an entire day's worth of activities if you make a huge flight. DC to Austin is, my guess is going to be, that's probably what, like a 4.5 hour flight. DCA to Houston. You'd probably fly through DFW. And then from DFW to, could you get a, no, you could get a direct flight from DCA to Houston, you think, I think. Okay, 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 40 minutes. But like, it's pronounced Flaherty. But 3 hour, 40 minute flight. If the flight leaves, let's assume the flight leaves at noon, you're probably on private planes. I actually don't know anything about flying private. My guess is you still probably need to be to the airport an hour early because you still have to go through security and everything. That'd be my guess. Although maybe not actually. I don't know for Secret Service and everything. Maybe you can expedite that or maybe it would take longer. But if you assume an hour before, that means that you're at the airport at 11. You're flying at noon. You land at 3:40, maybe a little earlier, private maybe faster. Then you're out of the airport by 4:30. So you've like deleted a whole chunk of your day there. And that could have been like another rally. It could have been a meeting with important people. It could, like, there's a lot of stuff you could be doing. Wasting time on flights just sucks. So this is why they're trying to get like a close place to like, okay, we can fly there, do a rally, then do Rogan's show. But like spending a whole day flying somewhere, doing a show, and then flying back is like so, it's just so much wasted time, especially with so many limited days to campaign. Yeah, I would think private would be a lot more easy. I don't know. I could see, like, for reasons like being easy, I could see it being easier for certain reasons, and I could see it being harder for certain reasons. I just don't know. Yeah. I have no clue. Flaherty had called his Rogan contacts on October 18th before the rally was set. We could do Friday the 25th. Flaherty said, wish we had known about this sooner because he has the 25th blocked out as a personal day, one of Rogan's reps said. That's wild to me. However, Rogan, he's probably the biggest podcaster in the world. So, I mean, like, maybe he could, big dick like this. Somebody said private skips security. Is that true? I feel like unless they have a whole different airport, because you wouldn't want people to like smuggle firearms through security going private and then bring them into the main airport or something, right? But maybe it's a different section of the airport that's not connected to the main one at all. I have no idea. Maybe I don't know. What about Saturday morning? Flaherty countered. Only if it's before 8:30 a.m. came the tough reply. Before 8:30? Like they've got to be done? Like it's got to be wrapped before 8:30? Or they have to start at 8? Jesus. The tone is different, Flaherty thought. Vice President of the United States is offering to come on your fucking show and you keep putting up more hoops. Harris's team still wanted to make it work, but a new wariness set in. On October 22nd, the same day the Harris camp announced the rally, the AP reported that Trump would be Rogan's guest on Friday, the personal day that Rogan had originally reserved. Nice. Mutual friends Elon Musk and Dana White had convinced Trump and Rogan to bury their dispute. According to a Trump aide, there would be no Harris interview. Ah, the Elon Connect. Elon is friends with so many of these motherfuckers, dude. This wild hand of Texas Hold'em, Harris aides thought that they had one more ace to play. Beyonce was in Houston and willing to perform at the rally. The plan changed like 20 times that day, and they landed on her singing Freedom a cappella before Harris walked on stage. Said one person familiar with the back and forth between the campaign and Beyonce's team. As consolation prizes go, Beyonce's performance ranked pretty high. It shouldn't. She was a bigger star than Rogan, no one cares, a bona fide global diva, not political, and Freedom was the campaign's theme song, no one cares. But Beyonce would not give Harris the potential benefits of a Rogan interview, demonstration of her willingness to go outside her comfort zone and connection to a new audience. Worse for Harris, Beyonce didn't perform. Okay. She would speak, but she would not sing. No Rogan, no Freedom. The campaign kept its poker face, but it had played out a losing hand. Trump spent 3 hours with Rogan in an interview that instantly went viral. The contrast amounted to a traumatic event, said one Harris aide, that I will never forget. But it wasn't quite over. Rogan would later blame the missed connection on Harris and accuse her of refusing to talk about marijuana, even though her platform included legalization. Harris aides made a final stab, offering to let Rogan talk with the vice president in Washington, D.C. the day after a closing argument speech at the foot of the White House. Rogan's team balked, citing the Austin-only condition. Flaherty had seen enough. You get one trip to Texas within 3 weeks of the election, he told Rogan's associates. You don't get two. Damn. Jesus. Yeah, where the fuck was the Soros funding on this? Why do you say that RFK did well when he didn't back down on his vaccine skepticism? He lied about following the evidence when the only evidence is they don't cause things like autism. He's either totally incompetent to not have studied it. I feel like when you, I'm sorry, let me be more particular. When I say he did well, what I don't mean that like he impressed me as a person with high knowledge and all that. What I just mean is like rhetorically, it seemed like he did fine. When somebody says, are you skeptical about vaccines? And he says like, oh, well, I just want to follow the science. And then that's it. And nobody pushes him farther on that. Then I think for most people, that sounds like a fine answer. Okay, you'll follow the science. That's what it sounds like. I didn't hear any like crazy own moments. Like in Hegseth, I think there was somewhere it was like, Jesus Christ, bro. For the confirmation hearing, yeah, for RFK, I just didn't hear any moments where it was like, oof, that was like super rough. Oh my God, he got trashed there. I just didn't really hear much of that or any of that. So that's what I want to say. I feel like he did decently, but. So they trolled Harris and she never had a chance of getting on Rogan? Probably not. They probably were never going to have her on. Would be my guess, but. Whoa, Hassan hate watching?
In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent.
Oh no, little bro's got a giant light source behind him and not enough of a key light to fill in, so he's too dark compared to the window behind him. Rough.
To Gaza to buy condoms. In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. 50 million. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them as...
They've used them. They've used them to make bombs. Like, this is not real, by the way, as I said. A Guardian reporter investigated it and found that it was not real at all, which is the least shocking turn of events of all time.
Wow, just because I'm sick, is he using his sick voice?
Said this yesterday when Caroline Leavitt was like, oh, I can't believe we're doing that. I can't believe we're doing that. I can't believe we're sending $50 million worth of condoms to Hamas. Yeah.
Wait, why was I linked?
Let's hear what Hamas is doing with the condoms that we are definitely sending.
a method of making bombs. How about that?
Based.
Yo, I hate this shit, dude. I can't stand this motherfucker. I can't stand this stupid ass government. And honestly, it's kind of both parties at this point. Like, because this dumb shit was also happening under the Brandon regime too. Like, they are absolutely, maybe they wouldn't have said like, oh, we're giving $50 million to Hamas for condoms and they're using it for bombs, but they'd be doing that about like sugar. Okay, I hate this shit.
Where the sugar claims that came out of like a report in like wasn't that like 2008? Any bombs that would have built with that were built with like sugar stuff, like the really shitty early rockets, the Qassam rockets, that was like the first gen. It was like the shitty ones that came out like just as Hamas was controlling that Gaza Strip after like 2006, 2007 or whatever. And I think that's also when those first not tariffs, not sanctions, blockades happened, and then supposedly cookies or that was the big meme, sugar, whatever was part of that. But I don't remember any of this coming up under Biden's admin. Here, type in sugar. Armed groups in Gaza, yeah, these Qassam rockets using basic materials. Fuel comes from a combination of potassium nitrate and sugar. But this is, and before this was 2020. Oh yeah, 2009. Yeah. This is old, though. I don't think anybody's talking about this recently, so I don't know why he says that, but... Yeah, and it was a whitelist, not a blacklist. I understand. Okay. Fact check. No evidence the U.S. spends $50 million on condoms for Gaza. Supposedly, this was like from Mozambique. I don't know what Apex Legends has to do with this, but... Turns out the United States did send $50 million for STD prevention to Gaza, $83 million to be exact. Just so happens it was sent to the province of Gaza in Mozambique, the country located on the southeastern coast of Africa. Hamas in Gaza, Palestine, did not receive $50 million worth of U.S. condoms from that grant, like President Trump suggested earlier today. Good one. Okay. I have to finish my law school essay, 200 words. What am I looking at here? I don't get how he comes to start sharing this shit. His staff can't be the one sending him random Twitter links of, oh my God, sent condoms to Gaza. It's like a literal grandma is the president of the U.S. I legitimately believe, and I can tell because of the January 6th hearings, is what's happening is they literally get a lot of their news off of social media. Like, that's where a lot of it comes from. Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to find these. I'm not gonna be able to find these. Committee. I remember it was on one of the last days. On one of the last days. Fuck. This might have been days before. Like, this might have been January 1st or 2nd when Giuliani called Donahue and he was like, have you seen this thing about the Italian satellites that are flipping votes? And it was just, this was just a fucking video that he saw on Facebook, Giuliani. It was just a fucking video he saw on Facebook. It was just like wild shit. I think a lot of it is they see crazy shit on Facebook or X or whatever. And then from there, they like start reporting it up to their... Oh my God, I found it. Oh my God, how does he do it? Like, this is just like... this is just wild shit.
That the president was...
Oh, this was Rosen, not Donahue reporting. Sorry.
...considering making the change by Monday, January 4th. So Mr. Meadows' email was something of a corroboration that there were discussions going on that I had been not been informed about by Mr. Clark or anybody else.
Interesting. The second request that you have is to have the Department of Justice lawyers investigate allegations of fraud related to New Mexico. Mr. Rosen, did you have concern about these emails?
Yes. Really two concerns about that one. One was that it was coming from a campaign or political party, and it was really not our role to function as an arm of any campaign for any party or any campaign. That wasn't our role, and that's part of why I had been unwilling to meet with Mr. Giuliani or any of the campaign people before. And the other part was, it was another one of these ones where lots of work had already been done, and I thought it was a rehash of things that had been debunked previously.
So the final email here included a completely baseless conspiracy theory that an Italian defense contractor uploaded software to a satellite that switched votes from Trump to Biden. The Select Committee investigation found that this wild, baseless conspiracy theory made it from the recesses of the internet to the highest echelons of our government. On December 31st, Mr. Meadows received this internet conspiracy theory from Representative Perry.
Wait, sorry, Destiny, for the slow among us. What role does this guy have? Adam Kinzinger is one of the people on the J6 Select Committee. He's one of the two Republicans, him and Liz Cheney. So part of the investigation, putting it all on, and then doing this at the end. The guy that he's asking questions to here I think honorable means they were a judge at some point. Rosen, he was the acting attorney general after Bill Barr stepped down in the weeks before the transition. So he would have been the head of the Department of Justice that Trump was trying to get Giuliani to filter more conspiracies through to try to switch the election outcome.
Theory made it from the recesses of the internet to the highest echelons of our government. On December 31st, Mr. Meadows received this internet conspiracy theory from Representative Perry. On the screen now is the text that Representative Perry sent to Mr. Meadows, copying a YouTube link with the message, quote, "Why can't we just work with the Italian government?" The next day, the president's chief of staff sent the YouTube link to Mr. Rosen, who forwarded it to Mr. Donahue. Mr. Donahue, did you watch this video?
I did, Congressman.
How long was the video?
Approximately 20 minutes.
Let's just take a look at an excerpt of that video, if we may.
What's being said out of Rome, out of Italy, is that this was done in the U.S. Embassy. That there was a certain State Department guy whose name I don't know yet. I guess this is probably going to come out in Italy at some point. And he was the mastermind.
Spoiler alert, it never comes out in Italy because this is just literally fucking insanely stupid, crazy shit.
Name I don't know yet. I guess this is probably going to come out in Italy at some point. And he was the mastermind, not the mastermind, but anyway, the guy running the operation of changing the votes. And that he was doing this in conjunction with some support from MI6, the CIA, and this Leonardo group.
Mr. Donahue, what was your reaction when you watched that entire 20-minute video?
I emailed the acting attorney general and I said pure insanity, which was my impression of the video, which was patently absurd.
Mr. Rosen, you were asked by Mr. Meadows to meet with Mr. Johnson, who is the person in that video. What was your reaction to that request?
So ordinarily, I'd get an email like this, and there was no phone call. It would just come over the transom. But this one, he called me, Mr. Meadows, and asked me to meet with Mr. Johnson. And I told him this whole thing about Italy had been debunked, and that should be the end of that. And I certainly wasn't going to meet with this person. And he initially seemed to accept that. He said, well, why won't you meet with him? I said, because if he has real evidence,
submit it to the FBI.
He can walk into an FBI field office anywhere in the United States. There's 55 of them. And he said, okay. But then he called me back a few minutes later and complained and said, I didn't tell you, but this fellow Johnson is working with Rudy Giuliani, and Mr. Giuliani is really offended that you think they have to go to an FBI field office. That's insulting. So couldn't you just have the FBI or you meet with these guys? And by then I was somewhat agitated and told him that there was no way on earth that I was going to do that. I wasn't going to.
But anyway, yeah, it's just crazy shit. Like, so when you ask, like, how does he even get these conspiracies? They are watching the Facebooks and the Twitters, and that's where they come from. Literally, yeah, that is what it is.
Hello, everyone.
You predicted this 2 years early. America's Coming Weimar moment. You linked me a 31-minute YouTube video. Thank you. Okay. Somebody said, Destiny, why is the U.S. sending $80 million to a country that has a lifespan of like 50 years? I don't get it. Omega lol. So, especially for like more destitute countries, the biggest like saves for, oh wait, honorable is a title for more than just judges. Rosen gets it because he was attorney general. Okay, I don't know that. Even for acting attorney general? Or was he not? Maybe, was he before that? Or yeah, I guess he was. Well, he wasn't here, but he was at the time. One of the biggest saves that you can get in some places, depending on how like fucked the place is stuff related to birth control, because especially when you're poor, especially when you got no jobs to do and nothing else is going on, you literally just fuck. That's all people do. And when you're fucking all the time, there's STDs and there's kids that you're making. So condoms go to both of those issues. Where, listen, if you want to fuck, go for it, but at least have less kids, and spread less disease, and it's better. So big donations of that type of stuff to those types of countries is probably your biggest like saving of human suffering and lives or whatever. So somebody else asked a question, and then they posted a link about so the Doge Bros are bragging today that they got DEI scholarships for Burma canceled. These are USAID's Lincoln scholarships, which help young people struggling for freedom in Burma's dictatorship, a cause America supported under Republican and Democratic presidents. I don't know. Is that Project 2025 full PDF? Where is this? 900. Is it this? So somebody emailed me and they said that if there's like weird or random shit that happens where you're like, why the fuck are they targeting this? Somebody emailed me and said all of this comes from this Project 2025 rule book. So like supposedly if you look up, I guess USAID is in here. Oh. that if you wonder why they're attacking these organizations, you'll find that information in like the Project 2025 book. Oh, 156 measures. Oh, damn, they got a lot of it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So, although I don't know why, considering Trump said multiple times he has nothing to do with Project 2025, and this has nothing to do with, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Kind of weird if you think about it, huh? But look up Burma. Would you agree that soft power is way more valuable than hard power for America? Well, soft power is nicer because you can do it to more people and it's not like as horrible and it can give you a lot of influence. Like typically you lean into soft power before hard power, but in Burma, the U.S. aid finances all the food and medical care for hundreds of thousands of persecuted Rohingya by the military regimes forced to live in open-air concentration camps. The massive growth in quote-unquote emergency aid, nice, distorts humanitarian responses, worsens corruption in the country's support. Oh, so Burma's listed in here, yeah. I'm only going to say this one more time because I see this coming up so much. Destiny, you were pretty dismissive of this during the election and just complained that campaigning against it is bad. Why is it important now? You specifically said that you had to talk about the policies outlined in it, but then seemed uninterested in it at all. What I said was, I'll say this for the final time, I've said this so many times, is that I don't think Americans care about policy. So pointing to a policy book and saying these are the policies they're going to do, I just don't feel like that's effective messaging. I think I still stand by that. But I mean, like, we care about policy and we should look at what the policies are. I just don't know if campaigning on it matters that much. The messaging is more important. I think it's okay to admit nobody realistically expected this past 2 weeks of bullshit from the Trump admin either. This is moving faster than anyone expected. I disagree with that. I think we should have expected this exactly, and we should have expected it to be, because remember, the only thing that hurt Trump last time was that he didn't know that he needed sycophants because he didn't understand how the government worked. He knows that now. So we should expect them to move way, way, way quicker than they did before. We should expect that. Destiny, you have any thoughts on BRICS? Off topic, but wondering how they fit into the future outlook and global economy. I think as long as we're close to Spain, I think that Spain can kind of keep BRICS under control because they're still considered a close U.S. ally. So, I mean, as long as they can keep the other 4 countries chill, we should be fine.
It's like a different...
Hold on. Spain is not in BRICS. Really? I thought Trump said it was. I have no strong thoughts on BRICS right now. They seem like they come and go in terms of importance. I'm sorry, that was an epic joke reference to Trump thinking that Spain was in BRICS, or he misspoke if you want to give him that charity. Well, was one of your critiques about Trump in debates leading up to the election that he didn't have any policies? Because I don't think he has any policies like addressing any of the things. And he arguably still doesn't, I guess, unless you're just trying to say that, unless executive orders count. But these are like different conversations that we're having. These are policies around like helping the economy or tax cuts or whatever. Like he does have some policies, but they're all like fucking abhorrent. But the issue is Republicans would never defend those policies because they pretend like he doesn't have those policies. So you can't even attack him on those policies. And then the ones that he says he does have, it's it's a difficult environment to navigate in because if Trump says something that's obviously crazy or terrible, they say, oh, well, don't take him seriously. He's not actually going to do that. And then for some of the stuff that Trump says he wants to take credit for, it's stuff that Biden did. So like he wants to protect like pre-existing conditions, and he wants to protect like price caps for drugs. But these are things that happened under Biden's admin. And then for other policies, it's like things that he didn't even manage to do, like controlling inflation. First of all, that's not a policy, and he didn't do that under his own administration, and he didn't control the budget or the deficit or anything. So it's like Trump is like a nebulous like cloud. It's like trying to wrestle with a cloud of nothing. It's just like impossible. Yeah. Harris flies on Air Force 2, not private. She drives directly on the tarmac, does not go through security. Well, I figure Air Force 2 probably flies in similar ways that private planes would, right? That'd be I have no idea. Bro, I don't know anything about flying private or how the president or vice president travels. I really don't know. When talking about Trump's contradiction on the interview, where he mentioned not reading Project 2025 but agreeing with some of it, he told me that could happen if someone gave him a summary of the project. How likely do you think that is? I don't know what that question is saying. How likely is it that Trump could try to implement everything from Project 2025? I don't know. I haven't read everything in 2025. But I mean, as long as it like doesn't contradict anything he wants and the people around him want it, then I imagine it's probably quite likely. Remember, the issue with the Republicans now, I've said this before and I will continue to say this, Republicans have Republicans are lost to sea right now. They are absolutely there's no foundational values, or there's nothing that they believe in strongly. Trump could tell them to do almost anything and they would probably go for it. So we're in a very, very, very weird, like precarious situation right now. Like if like kill immigrants for Trump tomorrow was the slogan, like a good chunk, like 80% plus of the Republican Party might be ready to march with him on that. Like fucking 20% of his immigrant followers might literally just kill themselves as soon as they see it on screen. Like, oh, I'm a good Trump supporter. Like that's the world that we're in, unironically. That is the world that we're in right now. You can't make this stuff up. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows emails to DOJ officials. Oh, this was over the satellite shit.
Are you prepared?
Someone said Assange is poisoning the well.
Are you prepared for a drama shitstorm headed your way? Dude, I'm in Japan. Like, yeah, people hate me. What are you gonna do about it? You know what I mean? Very weird shit. Just like kind of lose your mind and then decide to make it your life's mission to I don't know, stalk someone and constantly think about them. But from my perspective, I'm just gonna be doing my own thing still.
True.
Living La Vida Loca.
What are your opinions on the tariffs that are going to hit tomorrow? I hate tariffs. What do you want me to say? They're bad. What do you want me to say? Tariffs suck economically. You can use them for other reasons, but not for economics.